My name's Briony Stewart. I'm a children's author and illustrator, and I need your help. Merilinga, with the help of Healthways and Lottery West, have tasked me with trying to create not one, not two, but 3 picture books that celebrate Children's Week. The Children's Week Book Project is a collaborative story project. It's inviting all kids from around WA to help create stories that explore the articles of the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child. Now I know you're thinking, say what now? What is that? Okay, let's back it up. The UN Convention on the Rights of the Child is basically like this big long list of things that all children should have or be able to do in order to live a safe and healthy and happy life. Children's Week celebrates these rights, and our Children's Week book project will help to explain some of these rights to kids all over WA. So what is a collaborative story project? Well, as I mentioned, I'm a children's author and illustrator. I've created a bunch of books. And now I want to make a book with you. I've started a whole bunch of stories to put into a book, but now I need your amazing words and your amazing ideas to help bring these stories to life. To start off with, you'll get a story. You'll see that there's quite a few blanks in the story, and I need you to fill in those blanks with your ideas. But don't worry, I'm here to give you a few of my best tips and tricks. So here's an example of a story template. This one is called The Little Bat. And I could write a few different things, like there was once a little green bat called Pickles. Or maybe I could have a different idea. I could write, there was once a little black bat called Midnight. At night he would fly like the other young bats all the way to the hills and back again. Or maybe the graveyard and back again. And maybe he's not a little black bat, but a little vampire bat. Yeah. And while they were there, they would gather and listen to Dracula, who would teach them how to do bat things, or listen to the wise old bat, who would teach them how to do things like suck blood and squeak loudly. Wee! Or maybe you don't like that idea. Maybe there was once a little fruit bat called Midnight, and at night he would like to fly like the other young bats all the way to the orchards and back again. And while they were there, they would gather and listen to the wise old bat, who would teach them how to do bat things like hunt for mangoes and catch moths, and dance in the air. That could be nice. That could be a good story. Well, here's another template. This one's called The Word for Home. At home, the language I speak is Japanese. My favourite words to say are probably kawaii, because it sounds cute, or oshi, because it is something delicious. That's what it means. Something delicious. I know some other words in another language too, like yonka, which means kangaroo in Noongar. Or maybe at home the language you speak is English. That's actually what I speak at home. My favourite words to say are probably baboon, because it sounds funny, baboon, or petrichor, because it is the smell of rain. Did you know that there was a word for the smell of rain? I know some words in other languages too, like malinki, which means little in Russian. Love that word. Alright, we'll do one last story. This one's called Just a Regular Kid. It was the zombie apocalypse. I was hiding out at a supermarket with my friends, Ben and Jerry. Isn't that an ice cream? I must be really wanting ice cream right now. Okay, maybe I'll try something else. How about Kit and Layla? Sounds pretty cool. Except let's make it a bowling alley.
Yeah. No, an old bowling alley. That sounds spookier. It's my friends Kit and Layla. The zombies were everywhere. Actually, let's go with Biff, because it sounds funny, and Shania. Okay, maybe Shania is a little bit too funny. Biff and Jess. The zombies were everywhere. They didn't look like the zombies I'd seen on TV or video games. They looked pink and fluffy. Maybe orange and sparkly. Maybe they looked like eggs and ham, and you could tell if someone was becoming a zombie when they started sizzling and smelling delicious. Okay, that might be a bit too crazy. Maybe they look like Justin Bieber, and you can tell if someone's becoming a zombie when they start harmonizing. La 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 la. Okay, maybe not that one. They looked purple and putrid. You could tell if someone was becoming a zombie when they started resembling an eggplant. Yes. It all began when someone farted and people started turning into zombies. It all began when McDonald's went vegan and the people started turning into zombies. It all began when an elephant coughed.
Next, I need some illustration to go with the story. So I'm going to show you a few things that I do when I'm illustrating, or things that I think about when I'm creating a drawing that's going to go inside a picture book.
All right, so you have your blank piece of paper. I'm going to talk a bit about creating expressions on characters' faces. I think this is one of the most important things you need to try and do in illustrations to communicate how a character is feeling. And the main way I do this is by changing the mouth and the eyebrows. Sometimes you can show it in the hands as well. But as you can see, I'm just changing the mouth and the eyebrows here. You can make an open, happy mouth and some kind of lifted eyebrows, or those lifted eyebrows can help with a surprised mouth. You can make it really open or really, really open. You can have eyes bugging out. You can show a little bit of that in the hair too. A really frightened person here. Or you can show with some quite wide eyes and a wide mouth surprise by having raised eyebrows. So that's a person's face, and you can do a lot with showing how they feel by changing the eyebrows and the mouth. And actually, even if you're drawing an animal, you can still show expressions changing by changing their mouth and by changing their eyebrows as well. So think about that when you're drawing characters for your story, and also think about body language. The shape that our body makes can also show us how a character is feeling. So open arms and legs. Look at this jumping for joy person here, whereas this person's looking down at the ground and they're kind of closed up and just straight, and they don't look so happy, they look worried. Or this person who's sad, they're all hunched up, so they're really unhappy. You can tell that in their body language. Or this person here is got quite a bold shape. Their chest is puffed out. They look proud. Maybe they're a superhero. And even a blobby monster. You can still show how a blobby monster is feeling by changing its eyes and its mouth. And play around with things like eyes. I have fun choosing different kinds of eyes for characters and different kinds of noses as well. There's no one way to draw a picture, and your way, however you decide to do it, will be the best way. Okay, so you can see I'm doing a drawing here, and I've decided to use yellow pencil. Yellow pencil's really hard to see. It's quite hard to see my drawing I would definitely recommend to use a dark color, especially for the outlines, and to press nice and firmly so you can really see the lines and the color is really strong. You might want to do your whole illustration in pencil. Here I am being quite bold, using colored pencils to illustrate a character, lots of different colors. And this one's a bit easier to see than the one that I did in yellow. But I still think that, especially if you want to add a background, that's going to be harder to see your character. So I recommend doing a line at least around the important parts of the character. So you might want to use a fine liner, but for me, I think that's still a bit hard to see. So I wanted something chunkier. I've gone with a Sharpie, and I'm going over some of the important lines of the character. Not all of them, just some, so that when I add a background to my character, they will really stand out from the background. So I definitely recommend having a dark line around your character to help you see that character really well. Here you can see I'm adding in a quick background, and I'm not going to do dark outlines around my background. I don't need it because it's just the background, just my character. So you can see my character stands out really well, even though there's lots of things going on behind my character. You can still tell what's important. Alright, so this photo, as you can see, was taken in a place that was too dark. And I tried to fix it by turning on the light, but it made the paper kind of yellow. So I've gone somewhere a little bit brighter, but the light's not quite even. So near an open window or outside on an overcast day is a great way to get a good photo. And that way I can see your lovely picture.
So that's it. I'm really excited to see what you guys come up with. So please fill out your stories, create some beautiful illustrations, upload them to the website. I will be choosing the best words and the best pictures to actually go into a real picture book.